Share the broadcast on people. Share the broadcast. Sunday evening in South Korea. Sunday afternoon in Liberia. Sunday morning day in the US of A. Good afternoon. Welcome to Diaspora Talk. This is a brand new day. You know, yeah, always here. Day, area. We don't discuss the hours in October. I don't know what you guys hearing me or not, gentlemen. Are you guys hearing me? Hello, 1 2. Hello? 1 2. 1 2. Something crazy is going on. Okay, let me see. Best I can. 1 2. Okay, somebody's telling me that the sound is bad. Something crazy is going on. Okay, let me see. Best I can. Okay, I'll try to solve that out quickly. Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the Diaspora Talk. Okay, let me see. Just hold on a second, gentlemen. I will get it solved out. Yeah, the sound is bad. I can hear that also for myself. Okay, let me see. Where's that crazy sound coming from? Okay, gentlemen, are we good now? Are you guys hearing me clearly? Is this better? Is it sound better now? Let me see from my end here. Let me see from my end here. Okay, I think the sound is better. I think the sound is better. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up or you just make a comment if the sound is okay? Let me see from my end here. Okay, I think the sound is better. I think the sound is better. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up or you just make a comment if the sound is okay? Okay. Let me see from my end here. Okay, I think the sound is better. I think the sound is better. Okay, we good to go. We good to go. We good to go. We good to go. Yeah, good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the Diaspora Talk. I think the problem here that I just no. I think it's better. It's better. It's better. I'll play another monitor here, so that's why the sound came double. So I think it's better. The problem that I saw, I think our YouTube channel is also on, and that was where we were getting our feedback. So it's okay, gentlemen. We good to go. We are good to go. Yeah, so if you're in Liberia, I want to say good afternoon there to you. If you're there in, hold on, what is going on? Yeah. Okay, let me see. If you're there in Liberia, I want to say good afternoon. If you're in the US of A, I want to say good morning. If you are in Korea or in the Asia Belt, I want to say good evening. Because it is in the evening right now in Asia. Okay, I think I just solved that problem that we had here. So we good to go. Excuse me. Yeah. Definitely it's okay. The problem was that our YouTube channel was on, and I was getting the music from the YouTube channel. So I think it's kind of much better. Say good morning and good afternoon. If you just joining us, this is the Diaspora Talk. We are here to discuss issues affecting our country, Liberia. But let me try to get our team song from here. Yeah, the weather is crazy today in Korea, so because of that, the internet is somehow fluctuating. So let's see how best I can get it set up. Okay. Yeah, while I'm getting it set up, gentlemen, please help us share the broadcast. And let's discuss about our country, Liberia, what's unfolding. Okay. Yeah, that sound was so terrible. But I think it's better now. Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you there, Melvin, and thank you, Alfred, for making me to understand about our sound check. Yeah, that was error from my part because it was better that I had that sub out before. Okay, so let me try another thing and see. Okay, okay, let me just get the music out because I don't want it to go back to the same old thing. So, good morning, there, gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Diaspora Talk. We are here to discuss issues affecting our country. Today is the 9th day in the month of October 2022. Trust me, we got a few more months, like 2 more months to go uh, to the end of this year, and definitely we'll be going to the year 2023. So, tonight we are discussing some sensitive issues about our country, about government and people. But at the same time, we also been following the current situation there in the country Liberia, and what best we as citizens of that country, what can be our impact? What is our impact? On the issue of the happenings there in the country. Okay, so of the present, some people have started giving predictions about elections coming up anytime soon. I mean, people have started giving prediction about senatorial elections that are coming out in 2023. I listened to some other talk show hosts. They are already started giving predictions on, the senatorial election to come, and also to then warning, some other individuals who want to participate in the upcoming election, and warning them not to participate because somehow it's going to be somehow difficult for them. But trust me, Liberia is our country for every Liberian. So I think it is important whenever an individual decide to participate. I mean, why not try? You can never tell. There are some representative today and some senator today just decided to try. It was just a try error thing they were trying to do. I mean, they were doing, and at the end of the day, what happened? They came up victorious. So who knows? There are some people who actually plan, to contest for representative. There are some people who, also plan properly, for the senatorial election. But trust me, everybody did not plan the same way. Some people were just, a try and error thing. Let me just try. Let me just fill this gap. Since this party does not have a candidate in this county or in the district, let me just, try to push my way and see how it's gonna work. And that was how some of these guys became victorious today. I can name some of them on here for free, and trust me, some of them today who became senator or representative, it was something that just happened, like a dream to them. Yeah, it was just looking like a dream to them, like you want to bear, wake up, and and see yourself as president or as senator, it was just like dream to them. So at the end of the day, the 2023 election is upcoming. Trust me, you have to participate. I saw also information from the NEC that people started to do their digital registration, biometric registration. So I don't know how that actually going to work successfully in our country. This is going to be the first time of it can, if that really hold water. But we will look into it deeply. I saw some information out for December and January. But let's look into it clearly and see how best that can work. Because I think it is a fun thing because with that, everything will be transparent. And at the end of the day, it is not easy that people can just, rig the election. So we want a better system, and also too for Liberians in the diaspora. Hope the government too can work tirelessly so that they can get a system set up for Liberians in the diaspora, because there are millions of Liberians living in the diaspora. Trust me, and most of these candidates, that are contesting for senator or representative, they got a very huge fan base also. So once that system come into being, trust me, you can get about 2 to 300,000, you can get about 2 to 300,000, of voters outside the country. Liberians outside the country are in the millions. Trust me. You got Liberians all around America and in every state. You got Liberians in Europe. You got Liberians in Germany. You got Liberians in England, in Belgium, in France, in Italy. All of those countries, when you put all of the number together, that's a huge sum of people. And also we got Liberians in, the other part of African countries, in the African continent, they got Liberians a lot in North Africa, East, West, and South. Likewise in Asia, Liberians are everywhere. So if the government work on that system, trust me, those candidates that got a huge fan base in the diaspora, they will get a very good number. So that when we come a time that you don't have to worry much about, voters there in Liberia, even though you will need numbers there too. But trust me, you won't worry that much when you have all of your support, in the diaspora, because people are going to vote for you. So it is a good thing, and we hope that our government can work on that. So I mean, we can forge ahead, because some of us that on platforms, talking every day for the betterment of our country, we wish that we had the opportunity, to participate in the voting process. Trust me, it will be I'll be very happy on that, going to cast my vote for, whosoever that I decide or I'm interested in becoming president. Okay, so let us get started, gentlemen. Okay, let me see. Let's get started quickly. T Max is our moderator tonight. Yeah, thanks for coming on, T Max, and welcome. Good morning, T Max. Thanks for coming and welcome. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? T Max, if you can't hear me, you gotta lower your music a little bit. There's a music playing in the background there.
Oh,
Can you hear
sorry.
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, I'm hearing you. I think I had this stuff on the other. Okay.
You got music
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. Are you getting me?
Perfect.
Okay. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. Welcome to the show. Let's get started right away.
All right. So, um, yes. So, good morning to our viewers, and this is the Diaspora Talk, and we will have few topics to be discussing this morning. Um, we will be first looking at the current relationship between our president and the vice president, running into 2023. As we all know, the election will be held next year. Um, there's a lot of rumors that the vice president and the president are not on good terms, and the president might likely be having a different running mate, and the MPP is trying to withdraw from the Coalition for Democratic Change. So we'll also be looking into that. We're also looking at the livelihood of the Liberian people under the CDC-led government. We understand right now the country is in crisis when it comes to the rice shortage. So we'll be looking at how far have Liberia gone in terms of how our people livelihood is under the CDC-led government, also um, past governments. Is it better now or is it worse than ever before? Um, and after that, we will be going to some social discussion, if the time permits. Is We'll be looking at marriage. Is it okay to get to know one another in terms of being intimate before getting married, or um, is it okay that y'all get married before being intimate? Which side fits the best? We'll be looking at that, and these are the discussions for this morning. CEO, thank you for starting up the show, and to our audience, we hope you join us to have these brilliant discussion. Thank you, CEO. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you there, T Max, for reading out the topics of discussion. And to our audience, it is a good thing to be part of this Diaspora talk every Sunday morning your time, Sunday evening, or Sunday afternoon your time. We are here to discuss our country, Liberia, and I hope you guys got the topics for discussion. And the final topic of discussion is one of the topics that I really like, and one topic that I've been listed by our moderator today, which is our co-host on the platform. Thanks for that. That's a fun thing too, and I just hope we can be able to find time more to discuss social issues, because social issues, they also help to to educate some of us, based on some things that we need to learn or we need to know. Yeah. So looking forward having a wonderful discussion tonight on the show. To the audience, you just keep tight and trust me. The time will reach for you guys to participate when we open the lines, or you can keep your comments coming through. So what are you, team? Let's start up right away. No time to waste.
Right. So we're going to our first discussion. So CEO, we have election coming up, and like I was saying earlier, we have rumors about the
Right.
good morning there to our
So
great panelists,
we're
man.
going to our first discussion.
Alfred Konowat,
So
welcome
CEO,
to the platform.
we have election.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to CEO Make, and good morning to our viewers and listeners. This is Alfred Kunua, and today I'm joining this conversation from Minnesota.
Thank you.
Damn man, Minnesota City, my man. What? Most talking boy.
Um, so we go straight into discussion.
Definitely.
I think I need to change my chair. I'm too low.
Discussion.
Timas, you gone low. We're not hearing you clearly. Go ahead again.
Let's change
Are,
the
are
chair.
you guys hearing me now?
Perfect, perfect. Go ahead.
Good, thank you. So,
Oh my
as I
God.
was saying, CEO, we okay, we are just around 2023, as we all know. It's a big year, it's election, and there have been a lot of back and forth between the president and vice president, and even though sometimes it's not in public, but even from the internal sector, we hear these stories. And now that the president is getting prepared to go for his second term, and there's rumors that he wants to carry other guys instead of Joel. So what do you think, CEO? You think the president leaving Joel as his running mate will be a big blow to him, or you think it's something that is going to work for him? Go ahead, CEO.
One good thing that I would say on here is that for Africa, every president that are in power, whenever he or she's have the chance to contest for second term, is either they hijack the election or something crazy happen. So it is a regular thing. So even the president could have Joel stay on his ticket, or Joel could not be on his ticket anymore. But in as much as he wants to maintain power, there's a possibility that he can hijack everything because it's right in his hand. That's what I know of for Africa. That's a regular thing that happen. But on the issue of Joel, since the United States Treasury Department sanctioned criminal Nathaniel McGill.
Allegedly.
No, he's a criminal. Nothing about alleged, my brother. Sanction is not alleged. These are facts. Nathaniel McGill is a criminal. The American people will never act on rumors. What they got were facts. And that's why they sanction him. So there's nothing like a less sanction, my brother. That criminal is on sanction. He's a criminal. Nathaniel McGill, since at the time he was Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, a lot of time he intrude in a lot of things that he had no business intruding into. Even with Joy Howard Taylor, it came a time that she now had easy access to the president. And she was worried, with the position she had. With the position she had. She was worried. Most of the time we used to, get some funny news. Either she gone Ghana to a spiritual father for prayers, or she's sick, she gone for treatment, But these days we don't hear all of these things. So the issue of the MPP even walking away from the CDC, my brother, trust me, Joe Howard Taylor will remain on the CDC ticket come 2023 election. President Weah can never make any mistake of such, because perhaps that was something they have been planning before. But send the sanction hit their camp. Trust me. All the thought of them went by in the shell. Because they were getting too loose. Nathaniel McGill was even trying to act like president, because when you see the man convoy along going to Maggie, going to bombing country, going to bomb country, that follow. Can you ever follow anymore again? So Joy Howard Taylor is no more in worry. She is the president. I have a very good relationship now since Nathaniel McGill was prison sanctioned by the United States Treasury Department. She feel relieved, because that's one of the men who, that was like a nightmare to her, within the CDC. So now she feels.
Let me hold you right there. I'll come right back to you. So good morning, Konowat.
Good morning.
We're looking at the election coming up. Well, we know Joelle is one of the stronghold when it comes to Bond County. She's been leading that county for years, and being senior senator before ascending to vice president. And there were rumors that the president was thinking about taking off from the ticket in 2023 and putting maybe McGay and others. There were names that were circulating around. So my question to you, was that a smart move, or you think if that happens, will it help the president his second his bid for a second term, or you think that would be a big mistake? Go ahead, Konowat.
Well, all of us have been following the political process in our country with the George Weah-led government. And for me, it's not a surprise if I hear that President Weah is trying to disassociate himself with Vice President Taylor. Because if you can remember in 2020, I think 2019, either 2019 or 2020, the Vice President had to create a situation that she was sick before they were able to allow her to leave the country. I don't know whether you ever remember that.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
The vice president and the president didn't have any good conversation at the time. And if you can remember the 2020 elections, the vice president was so frustrated that when she went back into Bond County, she said this: if they bring the money here, your ticket and for your hat, if you can remember.
Yeah.
For me, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Even at the level of where I've seen the NPP right now is agitating. You see, in fact, the NPP is divided as I speak to you. The NPP is divided. There are some stalwarts of the NPP are demanding the vice president to withdraw. They are demanding the vice president to withdraw, and others are saying no, they should remain in the coalition. If you watch this week, yesterday, I think yesterday or Friday, they had a convention. You saw how that convention had to go into chaos, because other people are saying that the guys that are going for the convention had the intention of having a national mandate to withdraw. So they had to go there and try the whole thing and cause confusion so that they can go back and have a common ground. I don't know whether you follow the convention at Moravia City, Queensway City Hall.
Yeah, I did.
You saw the chaos that were in there.
Right.
People, I think that particular thing was led by Senator Barney. Senator Barney wants the NPP to withdraw. Even Masale wanted NPP to withdraw because the guys have been, they have not been treated well.
Marginalized.
But can I inject a little bit with what Afra is saying?
Yeah. See you, Afra, you landed already.
Let me just let me talk quickly.
Yeah, Afra land.
So, for me, I am not surprised to see what is going on within the coalition. From the onset of this government, the other political parties have not been respected. The vice president complained about that. They have not been respected. Only the CDC got, in fact, let me just say this. Do you know why CDC is struggling today? Because there were strong individuals within the CDC. That the last of Nathaniel Magale, who is one of the masterminds, they pushed all the strong guys away. Because they felt that the last time I told you that the government is suffering from what I call the inferiority complex. And it started from the very beginning. Some people in the CDC, especially the likes of Magay and all of them, feel like, the strong guy, people that are educated, they feel afraid of these guys that the guys want to take a position. So they did everything they could do to make sure all the guys were out of the CDC. So even within the NPP, there were strong guys in the NPP that were coming to the CDC. You listen to Gabriel McIntosh, when in an interview, he said there was a national governing council that was set up by the CDC. They only met one time. And after that time, they had never met. So that's what caused him to leave the CDC today. He will come in.
All right.
You see? So for me, I am not surprised to see the particular wrangling that is going on within the coalition. So when the NPP withdraw, don't be surprised.
Thank you. Yes, you go ahead. Inject quick.
Back. You know what Avra is saying. Avra making a lot of sense, and that's true. But you see, one of the major things here, that's what I stated earlier about Nathaniel McGill. He had been a nightmare to Joe Howard Taylor. Since these political parties formed the coalition, there were agreement, gentleman agreement. Because I don't know as to whether it was on paper or what have you. It was an agreement. That, for example, the NPP, controls the Ministry of Populist Work. That's why you see the late Mambuli Yimpan, was appointed over there through the influence of Joe Howard Taylor from the NPP side, with that position. So political parties were given, ministry, for example, the NPP, since you are part of the coalition we won, we gave you about 3 ministries, maybe the Ministry of Public Work and other 2 or 3 ministries. That means you are responsible to appoint people to those areas. That's your area. That's your area of control. So the moment Yamambudi Yimban died, may so rest in peace, the next Minister of Public Works is supposed to also come from the NPP, zone. They should be the one to appoint somebody, who will fill that gap, or any other person who will be appointed in that ministry. But those were things that China Maggie step on. Those things only happened from the beginning, the moment CDC took power. But after going on war, everything now was just being done through the control of Nathaniel Maggie. Even the president, we had said, you were just, I mean, it won't well, just son. Not even the decision. Just son. Nathaniel Maggie was making all the decisions. So that had been the major problem why the NPP even want to walk away, because NPP felt betrayed. They felt disrespected, like what they discussed is no more on the table anymore. And you understand? So right now, I'm making it like right now as I'm saying, trust me, the nightmare is gone already, which is nothing I might give. So things gonna get back on course with information I've gathered also too from other folks that I discussed with. Things gonna get back on course, and there's gonna be another agreement. And trust me, this agreement this time around, it will be a legitimate one.
So thank you, that's you. When Konoma was speaking, he struck a point that I kind of went back to when he talked about after the election, they had a lot of very educated guys from all these various political parties. NPP was one of those, and Magay and others felt threatened because these were guys who been in the corridors of government, and they have a wealth of education. And with Magay, I think he felt a little threatening other guys. So yeah, these guys were marginalized. They were sidelined because they felt bringing these guys in the corridor of the president. The president might have, consider some of these guys over him, despite of the struggle. But when you look at it, the jobs, if a president wants his job done, he wants the best if he wants to do it. So I think it made a lot of sense that these guys were pushing people away, even from the CDC.
This is what the CDC.
Yeah, so when he said that, it struck a point. And this time around, looking at the population of the vice president, Joel, and I remember then it was this rumor that it was Sim McGay that he was looking at to push as his running mate. And CEO, you also struck a point where you said his sanction destroy everything because I think it was something in the corridor about that, and the rumors was around that he was looking at McGay to go as running mate to him.
Sure.
So it was a problem politically, but right now we don't know what the status of the coalition is and what they are thinking. But to be honest with you, from my point of view, I think if they ever make the mistake to silence Joel, I think it will be a big mistake for them because Joel has a big influence in terms of people she controls. Go ahead,
let me just say this. Look, even if Joel stays on the ticket, let's just pray that the seditionists, those from the CDC, I'm talking about CDC as a political party, not a coalition, right? Let's just pray that they come to their senses and compromise with the guy from the NPP. Because what we are saying within the NPP, if it goes the way it is going, when it breaks up from the CDC, even if the vice president stay there, the popularity will drop. You understand what I'm saying? Because the foot soldiers within the NPP are the ones that can make things happen. Even though the vice president has a popularity, but there are guys in the NPP that have worked with the vice president that make things happen. But if the guys withdraw, if NPP withdraw and become a quasi opposition to the CDC, it will be a very, very big damage. Even if the vice president stays there. Because you know what? The vice president will want to save her face because she's the first female vice president. You understand? Right. She will want to swallow some pills. Even though she knows she not agree with it, but she's a professional woman. You understand? She will want to stand the test of time to say, okay, I will stay with the young man and that will see what happens. Even in the background, she will say, okay, yeah, this is the right thing. The guys are doing, but I'm going to stay here and let's see what happens. Even though she knows that the outcome will not be good. Right? But she will stay there because she committed to the peace of Liberia. Even though she's a vice president, she's committed to the peace of Liberia. So if the vice president withdraw, it doesn't send a very good message in terms of in terms of the voters, encouragement. There are many people who are just sitting on the sideline and are not waiting to vote.
Yeah, but
see you want to come in?
Yeah. You know, one good thing, we just want to get this very clear across the board. The Joy Howard Taylor that we knew in 2017, it is not a Joy Howard Taylor this time around. The anxiety the people had making her the vice president 2017, it is not the same kind 2023. The prestige of Joy Howard Taylor have dropped. If it used to be like 100%, it had dropped beneath 50%. What I'm saying to you, my brother, trust me, I'm saying it from different perspective. The Joy Howard Taylor that we know before, it's not a Joy Howard Taylor now today. Totally different. So even with the president of Joy Howard, like, that's what I said from the beginning, every government that's in power that decide to contest again for second term, they can get it if they want. So it don't have to be about running mate anymore to them. That's why you see they were never even taking Joy Howard Taylor so important. That's why they even wanted to bring Natana Maggie on board. Because the thing that, for example, you see Mr. Alexander Cummings down who have not yet gotten the seat. He had to find a better running mate that can march him, to attract the people. But this government is already in power. You think, that war is not running mate anymore. Running mate is nothing to Jowia. Jowia is not worried about running mate. No, that's not her worry anymore. If it had ever Jowia worry, trust me, he was gonna make sure that he and Joy Howard will be very tight. It is a good thing too that she's also on the ticket, but that's not Jowia worry, because if he still want to be president, why Liberian people do not vote for him to win? If he still want to get him, bro, nothing can stop it now. He can get it easily. We saw what happened in the 2017, the 2005 election and 2011 election. We know what happened. Ellen Johnson said he did not win election 100%. That we all know. We know there was a foul play. So trust me, African leaders are like that. So it is not just we are worried anymore about running mates. Joy Howard said that she worried more now about either being on the CDC ticket or she might maybe, just be hanging around or go park like the old guy, Joe Walker.
But see,
I respectfully disagree.
Right.
You cannot kind of bring the level of the vice president down. You can't do that. You understand? This is a popular woman among women in Liberia.
Right.
She has got the respect of prominent men in Liberia. She got some respect even in the international community, right? So for you to come and say that she does not mean well in terms of the voting for Jowia, he must be mistaken.
Right.
If that woman gets up today and say, I am no more working with Jowia, you know what it brings to the CDC? It breaks them down. Because President William...
I will give you an example. Alfred.
Gentlemen, let control the discussion.
Look at what happened in Bon County.
Let me hold you. Yeah, you will learn your talk, right?
Senatorial election in her president. What happened?
She lost it. She lost.
So tell me that.
Because she herself campaign for that. She herself campaign for that. If you remember,
Konwa is right. Konwa is right.
Campaign for that, right?
Yeah, so right.
What I'm saying to you is that the vice president is very, very important. Remember that President Weah was not able to win an election by himself as a CDC.
Right.
They had to have a coalition. So our election history is such that no one particular party have ever had the popular vote. There has always been an issue of coalition. Since 2006, there have been coalition. All elections there have been coalition from 2006. The only party that ever won election over the 100% was the NPP. No party, since we came to democratic rule, only the NPP has that record. So for you to come here and say, Joe, we are not worried about the vice president, you must be joking. He should be worried because he does not have the popular vote. He does not have it. Joshua, I can remember Joey had, I think, 38%. When the coalition came, it went to 61%. That's how he won the election. You understand? So you cannot downplay the popularity of the vice president. She still holds that position in Bon County. Okay?
Let me tell you that. So I think we all should be fair. Yes, it's true that the vice president still holds that respect and popularity when it comes to Bon County and other parts of Liberia. Because now, even though she have the majority of support in Bon County, but also other parts, because I know when she was vice president, my uncle did work with her, and she did a lot of humanitarian work in Bon County and other counties. I'm also a witness that she sponsored a lot of girls in the University of Liberia, UMU, the AMB Zion University. She did a lot of those things. So she carried a lot of respect when it comes to how she carried herself when her then husband was president. So she still, I know there will always be some shift in, the political arena as things progress, but she still hold a strong, support when it comes to her base. And I don't think the only problem is, like Lincoln was saying, in Africa, when you talk about second term, a lot of presidents, they don't worry because they have the power, they have the leverage to do whatever they want to do. But I will also respectfully disagree that we right now in the 21st century, a lot of those things not really happening like that anymore, because you might try to do it, but on the other hand, we have a lot of international monitors that goes to these countries and help monitor these elections. So if there is any foul play, yeah, you might declare yourself president, but your outcome from international observers, if there was a foul play, it will be announced. People will say something about it, and people will know. Even if you hijack the election, there will be something said about it, because everybody put their report together, and if it don't make sense, you know it's going to be discussed. People will know that, yeah, you did not win the election. So it's not like before, where you had like the rural areas, people will carry ballots there and throw it in the ballot box and do all those crazy stuff. I think right now Liberia is at a point where we have all these I worked with IFS before in one of those elections, and we were monitoring elections, and these international NGOs go there and help to monitor elections. It might not be 100% perfect, because, you know, the way things are in Africa, but they will always do their best to monitor the elections in these countries. So I hope things don't go the way that you know, my brother Lincoln is saying, but we hope for the best, and we hope the people come out and vote. And
for me, I don't think this president is ready for re-election. His action does not speak to that fact that he wants to be re-elected.
You never know.
All his action, all the decisions the president have made over the last period does not show that he wants to be re-elected.
Let me give my final word on this issue about Joao Tito and then that of you know, Tima, it is often said that you will know whether the Christmas is good from the Eve.
That's what I'm saying.
Joao Tito, she's been the vice president for the past 6 years. There's a 5 years now, going to 6 years. Imagine the stronghold of Bon County. 2 different senatorial elections where you supported your co-election. You even went campaigning for your co-election.
No, see you. Let me hold you right there a little bit. That election, Joel did not campaign.
She never campaigned. She went there and told the people, say,
the word I used was exactly what she said. Your vote, your conscience, your vote, you know. She did not.
What's the difference, Tima, when she went there and tell us your vote, your conscience?
No, because the difference is the different. No, okay. Let me tell you the difference.
Now hold somebody and say you have vote for the person.
Right. If I'm in a coalition and Konowa is running on that ticket, and I go to my people and say, hey, this is Konowa, I trust him, your vote for him. It's different from me going to my people and say, okay, but Konowa on the ticket, other people on the ticket, I say, you know what, your vote, your conscience, yeah. Me, I'm kind of carry nobody. I'm telling you who to vote for. That's a big difference, CEO. It is.
Yeah, but on the other hand, there are some things you understand too, right? Joy Howard told us you're one senator for Bon County. And she was stronghold she's one of the prominent citizens of that county. So even if she went to the people and told them that your vote was your conscience, and the people knowing her to be a sedition, my brother, trust me, there's nothing else to make me to turn my back on CDC. But 2 different senatorial elections she lost. That's just one aspect. And second is this. You talk about, you know, election process in Liberia. My brother, do you know how bad our road connectivity is like in Liberia? Imagine election is around the rainy season. Tell me now, the people who all the way in Locatua, all the way in Vonjaman, Zozo, all those kind of an area, and what doing the rainy season, you know, there's no easy access to get over there. Right. It becomes difficult. And all of those international partners that come to observe the election, I don't want to be that they can be there when the people checking the ballot boxes, when they're checking my brother, what's the people don't verify to say, you know, the people want to give report based on what they see.
No.
So and I go, no, I'm coming.
You go ahead. You go ahead. Let me clarify that part.
I'm not going to verify to say what you did the other box from the other box.
Let me verify something before you go ahead, right? So, or let me clarify something. So let me tell you, okay, you talk about the rural areas. If you talk about Maryland, there should be an estimated number of people that live in Maryland, right? Say, for example, we have, say, 100,000 people living in Maryland, and you got 1 million ballots coming from Maryland County. Does that make sense? Or you got 500,000 ballots coming from Maryland County. Konoha, you tell me, does that make sense? So my thing is, I'm not saying it's not easy, or is that easy for them to do all that. But the thing is common sense. People who are educated, people who know better. You know the counties in Monrovia that have certain population estimated. It might not be exact, but at least around the area, right? So you can tell me that Riverside County has less population, say maybe up to like 50,000 or 150,000 people living in Riverside, and the election is held there, and you bringing up $700,000 from Riverside.
T-Max, you live in America. You
right.
live
So
in the US of A.
If something like that happening, even
look
if
at the past two elections in America. We never expected to get those kind of a result or those kind of a news we got from the American election. The election that brought Donald Trump to power, and also election that brought Joe Biden to power.
What happened?
No. Don't say what happened. You don't know that there was some mixed figures and what have you. Yeah, the great America, when things can happen differently, then what's about Africa? The team of Donald Trump, they complain a lot that there was fraud in the election.
No.
My
brother.
I'm coming. Let me end, gentlemen. You don't have Jackman. Let me end right here.
Don't vilify Donald Trump. No, don't vilify Donald
Trump. Don't kind of dignify Donald Trump's life. Don't kind of dignify it. We're not accepting.
No. We live
even what's about Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton, she also complained about the election too. It was fraud. The election that brought Donald Trump to power.
No, Hillary never complained.
Hillary never complained about any fraud. Why is she won the popular vote? She lost the electoral college. She lost it to Donald Trump.
No, CEO, Hillary never complained.
Hillary never complained. We follow the election, my brother.
Amen.
Why me tell you what?
I noticed a lot of people living outside the U.S. believe Donald Trump a crap that he always say around, but I think it's rubbish. It's trash. You understand me? You can't.
All Donald Trump cases were thrown out of court.
They went to court for all the allegations. Not one was listening to it. Were threw out from court, and by judges that he appointed. Come on,
exactly.
Now, I mean, come
on now. Don't contract.
You're not dignified.
America has strong institutions. They don't have strong individuals.
No,
America is not above the law. Donald Trump is not above the law in this country. You understand? Those things are only happening in what the Western world called third world countries. Right? Those are the places it can happen where you have imperial presidency, where the president can become so powerful than the law. Yeah,
that's why he wanted. That's why he was doing it.
Are you guys saying that Hillary Clinton did not complain about the Russian interference?
Never. Listen. CEO. Let me correct you on that. The issue of the Russian was not even Hillary. It was the security networking Liberia that has to do with the FBI, the U.S. Marshal.
In
America.
In the U.S. I'm sorry.
But somebody complain at the end of the day, my brother. So at the end of the day, there was a fire play.
No, because they have facts. Not Hillary accusing Russia.
No, but I think Hillary did. I think she did. Maybe we all need to go check it.
The FBI
investigated. The FBI conducted an investigation.
Right.
That Hillary's email was being hacked.
It was being hacked. It was hacked. Even the DNC commission system was hacked. The Democrats, it was hacked too.
That's what I'm saying, T-Max. Okay, no, that gets something clear, right? That gets something very clear.
It wasn't hacked for the election.
I like the word use hack. I like that word you use hack. But
hack. I want you to let understand one another. I want you to understand when I say hack, it doesn't mean the election was hacked. I said it
was not manipulated. The election was not manipulated.
The party computer was hacked. I didn't say the election was hacked. Here, when they have election, the system for the election on ballots and stuff is different from what happened to the Democratic Party or Hillary. It had nothing to do with the election being hacked. Nothing. The only thing the Russians did very well was the online propaganda. They played it well. They were sending all kind of things to people in biases with Hillary, sending all kind of information. That was their play.
That was their plan to create chaos.
Right. It wasn't like they went in the election box and started changing things around for that. No, they didn't do that. But
and Mr. What Masako is saying, the Russians were playing the card of Donald Trump. They wanted Donald Trump to be president.
Right.
So they were doing everything to discard Hillary, to bring her popularity down so that there will be chaos, and then Donald Trump will be president. And they succeeded in doing that to make Donald Trump president. They succeeded in doing that. So there was nothing that,
you know how many fake accounts that Facebook brought down that was in the election, sending information to people, telling them bad stuff about Hillary and good stuff about Donald Trump. I mean, it was a whole network game that was going on. But it took a while for the FBI to pick those things up. So it had nothing to do with the election itself. So Hillary did not complain about the election, but Hillary complained about what the Russians did and how they played their games in terms of promoting Donald Trump. She did not say the Russians came and hacked election that she lost. She never complained. But on the other hand, the 2-year-old baby who was president, who is like a toddler, he was talking a bunch of rubbish and a bunch of people around the world talking, oh yeah, dude, you say you had cases, you went to almost I don't know how many courts, judges there that you appointed. Look at the case and chew it out and say it's trash. That speaks volume. So let's just put that aside and go back to our discussion.
Thank you. Even today, Donald Trump himself still believes, even though all those cases were thrown out, he still believes that he won the election was stolen.
Because he's a toddler.
You understand? This is a man who does not accept reality. He does not accept reality. He still believes, and that millions of people in this country still believe that the election was stolen.
So see you. Let's take a 1-minute break and then we'll move to our second discussion. But anyway, Donald Trump's story is crap. I hear a lot of our people outside the country always promoting that thing a lot because you don't live here. When you live here and look at facts, then you'll know how.
You're not my president, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
That's how it is. A lot of them out there elect Trump for his craziness because you see our people, they're so used to what you call it, people who are dictator, the way they act, those kind of things. They see those people.
What do you call dictator? Stop.
That's the kind of president Donald wanted. That's why
was one of the best president America ever had. If you don't know, bro.
You are living.
That's what I know. That's what I know. I don't think that.
Donald Trump is a racist.
You outside the U.S.
Who is not racist? Who is not racist? Who every human being is racist, my brother.
I can provide you facts to what I'm saying about Donald Trump. Donald Trump became president. He passed executive order to stop Islamic people from coming to this country.
Gentlemen, let's not go off track. Please, we'll take a break. To our audience, sorry for
the African countries shitholes.
What's going on? Let's deal with that.
This is a racist individual we're talking about.
See you. Let's take a 1-minute break and come right back and move on.
Good.
We're back to you.
My whole system is freezing. Okay. Over to you, T-Max.
Thank you. All right, to our viewers on the Diaspora Talk, we are back with this great panelists. We have our brother Alfred Konowa and A. Lincoln Mankey, and also to the rest of our panelists who are either on vacation or some business trip. We want to say good morning. That's the man Melvin Papi Grade and Gabriel Massaquer. And our sister Tutu, she said she wasn't feeling well. I hope you get well soon, Tutu. And back to the discussion. We will be going into the issue of the George Weah-led government. So President Weah have led for almost 6 years, and we're looking at the livelihood of our people. The Liberian people today, have our people progressed in terms of their livelihood under this CDC-led government, or is it worse today? as compared to the George Weah government and past administrations. So we know we have issues of today as we speak, rice. The issue of rice is one thing that is plundering the country right now. You see videos everywhere on the internet, people. But it was unfortunate when the president came here and he was bragging that we have food in the country for at least a year or almost 2 years or whatever he said. And you also look at our health sector. Today, we are in the 21st century where we have a lot of digital machines and all those good machines, Esri and all that stuff for our health sector. You look at education. I think my brother Konowa and I, we share some videos online looking at high school graduates coming out of high school and giving speeches, and it's like you want to throw your whole phone or whatever you're watching, you want to throw it away. And how is our education system in the country? If we look at the CDC-led government, are they doing better with the young generation coming up for tomorrow, those who will be the future leaders? And then security. How far is security going under this government? Because these are key elements when it comes to our country. Is things better today as compared to past administrations? My brother Konoa, let me start right there with you. Go ahead.
Well, I will start with education. You know, this president, when he became president, the platform was already laid for him to begin the process of continuation. I will start with President Salif's educational strategy when she became president. The first thing President Salif did was to make primary education free, if you can remember.
Right.
Well, first grade, from kindergarten all the way to 6th grade, was just about registration in her presidency to encourage more students to come to school. So on her presidency, you have more people in school, especially at the primary level. You have more people in school. Under President Salif, you have more schools being built outside of Monrovia in the counties. Schools were being built in the various counties to increase the level of students from those counties to go back to school. At the time I was in high school, I can remember fully well, there was high competition, both from the high school level to the university. In fact, what the president was able to do was to increase professor salaries at the high school and college level. So, for example, if you have bachelor's degree as a high school teacher, your minimum salary at the time I can remember was $500 United States dollars. $500 United States dollars. That's I can remember because I was in a teachers college at the time in Liberia, and most of the guys that were teaching in high school, under President Salif, majority of them had graduated from college and they had a bachelor's degree. She tried to put in place a system where if you did not have the qualification, you can't be in the classroom. We saw all the TRs around the country, from Zozo to KRTTR, everything was functional. President Salif, under President Salif government, those institutions were functional, they were training teachers. So, for example, if you are in a primary,
I had a friend who benefited from that. Today, I think he's he's a principal right now as I speak.
Right. So there were categories at the TR that people were learning. If you want to have a C certificate, you want to have a B certificate, you want to have a diploma, you have to stay in the institution to come back and teach in the high school.
Right.
Under President Salif, zero. I mean, under President George Weah, the whole system is zero. They came and said they were making tertiary education free. Look at the chaos that's happening at the state-run university. We see a lot of chaos. So if you were to ask me amount of percentage for the government in terms of education, I will get in zero. They didn't do anything. They broke down the system that was built. They never continue on it. They broke it down. Look at look at Kari, the agriculture, the Department of Agriculture, where people are being trained, to help our agriculture sector. Look at Kari today. It's broken down. In fact, the director at Kari is complaining that they don't have budgetary support. People don't take pay from that institution. It's broken down. Everything is broken down under President Weah. So for education is zero.
Right. So let me hold you there a little bit, and because I wanted the discussion to be interactive. Let me go to the CEO. So CEO, I know Kunowa is pounding the president on zero on education and other sector of the country, right? And I also want to ask you, even though we all agree things in Liberia right now is not as compared to President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had tons of support, international support financially, and all of this assistance you talk about was put in the country. Under President Weah, that is not happening. Basically, I think he's managing with the low resources we have there, and maybe a little bit assistance from outside. Do you contribute that to the reason why some of these problems are happening, or is it just lack of leadership? Go ahead, CEO.
Thimax, thanks for the question. I think there is only one thing that Liberian people have achieved over the past 5 years. And I will give that one thing at the end of my comment. What I take notice of is that our great grandparents, who did not go to school, who sell pepper and cheese in the market or sell fire coal, they were very eager to, educate their children. And that's why today some of them are great people. They say, the people ain't no book. But this president who had a very tough time coming up, like our great grandparents or our grandmothers and grandfathers or mothers and fathers who did not have the full, sponsorship to go far in school like President we had never had. We expect him to do his best for the people. But all that the people see are the worst thing that ever happened to them in life. Look at the rice crisis today in our country. If today is not rice, tomorrow is gas. If it is not gas, it's fuel. If it is not fuel, it is water. If it is not water, it is fire burning houses all around the corner. If it is not fire, there's no quarrel. What kind of president we have that just become an embarrassment to the Liberian people? There is only one achievement that the Liberian people have achieved over the 5 years. And you know what that achievement is, T-Max?
No.
It is a very strong achievement. The achievement that people have achieved over the past 5 years is nothing but the word FAITH, faith, and HOPE, hope. That's the people's achievement. The Liberian people, they still have faith that there will still be a better day tomorrow. The Liberian people, they still have hope that tomorrow Monrovia will be the Miami, like President we said Monrovia is, and later he changed the tongue, say it is not more.
But so see, let me come back to you. Let me come back to you right there. I understand.
That's the achievement, Tima, that I see from Liberian people. That's faith and hope. That's all.
Right. I understand your analysis right there. Okay, but my point is, comparing the support both internationally and locally under the Ellen-led government and today, I know you and I know it's not the same, and that's why I asked. Does that contribute to some of these problems?
Nothing changed. The only thing that we will say somehow changed because when Ellen became president, there were a lot of NGOs in the country. They had a DDR process in Liberia. That was a time they were giving. Was it the DDR time, right? I think during her time, yeah.
They had a lot of support. That just say it that way.
Right,
yeah,
right.
No, right. But the reason those things were happening because we just came from war. Look at the restructuring of the army, the restructuring of the police. So that's the reason all of those Donald Trump, but since the 12 years, all of those processes have finished. You don't expect UNMIL to still be pumping money in Liberia like before. No. The same thing still continue. America still send money to Liberia. The European Union still send money to Liberia. The Japanese people still send money to Liberia. Nothing changed, Max.
No, CEO. I want us to be honest. I think my brother Konowa and I, we can say
no. Get me clear, Get me clear.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had overwhelming support from the international community. You cannot argue that. We saw it.
Let me just make it very clear so you understand.
Yeah, let my brother come in.
The reason why we are looking at Ellen to have more support because during Ellen time, it was when they were restructuring the army. So a lot of money was coming in the country.
That was her first term. Even the second term, she was still
I'm coming. Yeah, during her second term, we still had 1 million in the country. So that's the reason money will also still coming in the country. During Ellington, it was when they restructured the police. So we also have more money coming. But tell me, are you telling me that since George Weah became president, America is not sending money no more the way they normally send money? They used to send money to Liberia? No, the money still come. The World Bank, they still send money. Money stick, my brother, it does not change because government is continuity.
No,
it don't change.
No, see, I'll hold you right there. It's not.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you. Thank you. Let me say this. Look, when President Salif, that just goes by a little bit. If President Weah was elected 2005, can you imagine what our country would have become at this point? You understand? George Weah leadership is poor. When President Salif became president, our country was considered a pariah state. You understand? President Salif was able to use her leadership ability and skills to rally the international community. You understand? So all the support she got, it was not that because she was sitting in Monrovia and saying, America friend, I'm a friend. You understand? She did not sit in Monrovia and tell you, say, America friend, I'm a friend, when you are being asked why you have not visited the United States. You say, America friend, I'm a friend. You understand? You put incompetent people into position of power. She did not do that. It comes with leadership. If you want the international community support, like you are saying, she had a lot of support. It never happened because she just when she sat down and just passed around and then Buka dance and go make music. She didn't do that. She didn't do that. She put people in. Look, the kind of people that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf brought to government. The likes of the banking king Akerele, the likes of John Molu, the likes of the former minister Anthony Sayer, who are worked with the World Bank.
Yeah.
These are credible individuals who are working in the international community that on their own to rally support for the country.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Now only Ellie alone. It takes leadership. It took leadership from the perspective of the president to rally the international community for the support that she received. You understand? So
and let me hold you right there. You know, you strike a point, right? When you take over as a leader of a country, the international community sits back and watch you.
And watch. What you do?
You now got to put people in position that are, one, educated, experienced, that have the trust and the
international contacts
with the international community, that when they even go to any of these entities and say, hey, there will be no question.
There will be no question.
The individual who's there or who's managing that place, they are someone of trust. They dealt with them. They know them. So you're right. Ellen, when it comes to people she put in power, she was never playing games on that. Even people who saw, that's why you see a lot of young people went to university and colleges, because those who supported her, the young people that were not up to that tax, she made them to go to school. And if you can remember, a lot of the assistant ministers were young college students, right? Under Ellen, because she encouraged them to go to school before she could, even like maybe after a while when she making changes in government, she pushed most of them as assistant minister to learn. You getting me? But today, somebody can come from Babiata and there's something like you be like look at what I was city mayor. What, who know he, where he, like what? Look at Mary Broad performance and where Mary Broad came from her contact.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you know, you're right. The kind of people you appoint have impact on your government too.
Because people you appoint, and not only that, your level of monitor. If you're not only appointing people to leadership, because
to get very clear.
Let me my talk, Maki. You not only appointing people to leadership, then you sit back, but you monitor their activity. I can remember President Sedi fired Dr. Kotu from the Ministry of Education, so money, because he fails to carry out his duties and responsibilities. When President Sedi visited the school at the freeway on the Bushwa Island, and when she went there, the zinc were all leaking and all of that. The children were sitting there in the water. She got angry. She stood right there and fired the Minister of Education and replaced him without even thinking, because he failed in our area. Now let's come to George Weah government. When was the last time George Weah ever did major reshuffle in his government that you know of?
Never. I mean,
now, Mr. Maki, tell me, when was the last time George Weah did any major reshuffle?
But That's the secret I want to give you guys.
You know what I'm saying? So when you say President Sally received a lot of support and the government is not receiving a lot of support, it has to do with leadership.
Thank you, Konowa. CEO, go ahead, take it from there.
You know, one of the reasons that the president is not firing these guys then for the mistake they keep making, my brother, when you pay for a position, that position is for you for life. That's what happened in the CDC government. Most of these guys you talking about pay good amount of money. Some pay 5,000, some pay 10,000 for those positions they are occupying today. So you think what the hell the president will come on and fire some of these guys then? Because you're going to pay that money back, the story will be all on the social media. That is one of the major reasons you see most of these guys in position, cannot be sacked, cannot be fired, because majority of them pay for this position they are in. Secondly, is this. It is true that President Ellen Johnson said he received more support. That has to do with, the arrangement or negotiation, and, with the international community. But still, at the end of the day, it does not still stop our international partners from sending money that they normally send to our country. It is still coming on a regular basis. The money still coming. America still sending money. The only thing is it is not coming escrow. Like the way Ellie used to go, negotiate, you go and press buttons on that for escrow funds to come. That's just a difference between Ellie and that of Joe. Because
there's a lot of difference.
The reason I hold you right there, I'm coming. The reason I hold you right there, when you say because that's government to government thing is continuity, I disagree. The United States does not work with a corrupt government. They do not. I'll tell you that.
But they just have money there for you there.
I'm coming. So yeah, how it worked. You will hear that they send money. Some of those money, they follow it to monitor or their own people on the ground to do some of those works. They will not put certain money in the hands of government. I'm telling you, the people will only sit back and send money to a government they feel that they trust.
It's responsible. Government that is responsible.
That is doing the right thing. They will sit back and send money. But if they find out that the money is not going to benefit the people, they will send people after it. Trust me. CEO. Go ahead.
Let me just say this. Before you go back to Brother McKay. When the president became president, the first thing they did, what they started doing, they started going to donor money to tell you how irresponsible they were.
Very good. And the international community watching those kind of stuff.
In fact, 9 ambassadors had to write the president and tell the president, say, you put our money back.
We had that discussion on the Diaspora Talk. Yeah,
you put our money back.
Right.
Tell me, since 2018, when that letter was written to President Seri, have you ever heard any announcement from the president's office that they have put our money back? No, they never put our money back because they don't have no money. You have incompetent people in the position of power, like continuing to steal the government money. The president does not have the political will to deal with them because he feels that is his base.
Right.
You understand? When these guys are out of power, he will not have the momentum that he has because number one, the president is not articulated.
Konowa, I ask you guys to correct me. I mean, since I grew up and know myself in government for the past governments that I've seen led in Liberia, I don't know if I've seen any government who ran for straight 6 years without no major reshuffle.
No major reshuffle.
Y'all can correct me on that. I don't know.
Mr. McKay, are you telling me that the CDC, the coalition, does not have qualified people?
My man, people? I make you guys to understand that people pay cash money for their position, but you're still not getting it.
I want to agree with you. I want to agree with the CEO because you want a guy, how they call him, Darlington from the Aviation Authority. This guy who said the guy was in Philadelphia, he was driving truck. When Nathaniel McKay visited, when Nathaniel McKay visited the United States and gave $100,000 to Eula, it didn't take no time with her Darlington Collins up. No, not Darlington. His last name.
Darlington.
If last name. Darlington was appointed to be the director for the Liberia Aviation Authority. This is a man who does not have any technical know-how in the field. In fact, he was just a maintenance guy at the airport. That's why he didn't got certificate to be a maintenance guy at the airport. When the plane comes, they go there, They got senior engineers out there that are coaching them to tell them what to do. But this is a man, when Nathaniel Marquet visited the United States, in no time he was appointed in Liberia to be director for aviation authority in Liberia. This is a man that went to when the senators were questioning him in council board and he started talking about LLC. What LLC has to do with the airport? The man did not have any knowledge.
Yeah, I think
if to say our senators, if to say we not have strong senators in the house, we're not going to be appointed again because
I think I watched a bit of that.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand? So if George Weah is the problem for himself, the decision and actions over the 5 years is what put this government into what it is right now. You understand? The president had never visited the United States. In fact, let me go back a little bit. You remember when President Sadi became president with the Firestone saga, where the workers in Firestone complained that they were being maltreated by the management. You saw how President Sadi took leadership when she went over there. How she stood up firm for the people that are working with the company. I think you need to find that clip and play.
No,
and see,
I was on top of that issue.
You understand? When Joel became president, went there.
I always gave that place to her. I said that was where I saw real leadership. Ellie changed the dynamics in our Firestone. Ellie made today Firestone workers live in good houses.
Good houses.
In fact, Firestone High School became the #1 in the country until I left.
Right.
Every year they would tap WIAC. The students there would go, some of them would get scholarship to go out of country for. I knew that. I've been on top of that issue.
Our president went there. Why you said? You start comparing to the places he lived in. He lived in Monte Carlo in France.
You can't compare the two. But let me go over to
the leadership skill that is necessary for a leader.
Let me go over to the CEO. So CEO, we're talking about the livelihood of the Liberian people today.
Yeah, let's talk about the right issue.
The livelihood of the Liberian people today. We look at the president came for the UN General Assembly, and he had an interview, and he wasn't back home. And then he was asked this question: "You have a rice crisis in your country?" And he's like, "No. I went to Freeport. You saw the rice there is stuck up there for almost. They told me it's like 2 years. We got rice in the country, so no rice." And when he went back home, he met the crisis. The country was people tying two bag of rice in their car seat and putting seatbelt on there and holding it tight because. So, CEO, I mean, leadership, man. When we talk about leadership, we have seen leaders come and go. What are we dealing with today, and how is the livelihood of the Liberian people? You look at our staple food, rice. Today, our people, I heard $200 and something dollar for a cup of rice, Liberian dollar. And the economy, our country, how our people struggle when it comes to the livelihood and day-to-day activities. What's your say on this issue in terms of how things are ran? Go ahead, CEO.
One good thing that I also want to say is that sometimes when we are trying to be critical on our leaders, we also have the retrospect with past leaders, what they were good at and what they were also bad at.
Right.
Former President Charles Taylor. Liberia rice crisis started since 1979. The rice riot.
Right.
That was what that gave birth to our civil war we had over the past 14 or more years. President Taylor, during his term as president, my brother, rice was something that even the citizens were even tired with because we had a bag of red that was being sold for $650 Liberian dollar. Very cheap. You could find rice in every corner. I remember when Taylor speak, what kind of lonely man or full man will go last to and want to carry the rice out? When Taylor just speak one time, all of those guys in are cleaning. Rice was very cheap. So during the time with Taylor, rice was not issues for Liberia. Even though we know one of the worst side too that we all experienced, but on the line of food, no man. Nothing we can talk about negative when it comes to line of food during the time of Taylor when he was president of Liberia. The Pusa rice were like I think $750. And I think the White Rice was the one that used to sell for $6.50.
No, but see you. I will respectfully disagree with you when it comes to the issue of Charles Taylor. That was not a democratic setting. So
I'm not a man with president. I didn't man. What you
hold on,
talking
you gotta mute yourself. You gotta mute yourself. You're on mute.
I would disagree with you, Mr. Masako, when you say that Chancellor government was not democratic. Chancellor was elected democratically. 70%, I think 70% or 90% of the vote.
No, I did not say, no, I did not say he was not elected democratically.
But that was a democratic government. Unless you, yeah, go ahead.
The way he ruled, the way he led his people was not a democratic. He did not.
What would you say about Samuel Kedo?
Samuel Kedo, he was elected democratically. But my thing is, Taylor was more of a dictator than Doe. You can't compare. You can't compare Taylor to Doe.
Okay.
Taylor was more of a dictator to Doe. My brother, you don't want to die. If Taylor tell you something, he said no. You know what's going to happen to you. So that was not even a question. A democratic setting is conversation. You sit on the table and negotiate. You talk about issue. Call the right people, like what Ellen did during her term, like what other leaders did. But for Taylor, it was a whole different story. If Taylor tells you this and you look in your face and say no, say because I bought my rest $10, so I will sell it $15, you own a story. It's a whole different thing, and you and I know. So you can compare the way Taylor led as compared to other presidents. Taylor will be somebody I would not want to set an example on, because under that regime, if even you did not want to do it, you are going to do it against your will. So that's not democratic. And that's why I said it was. I never said he was not elected democratically, but the way he ruled as a dictator.
Okay.
So Taylor rule was different. And that's why I wanted to make clear.
So my point to you is, how you would have expected Charles Taylor to rule when he became president? After 3 months, he had civil and he had incursion in the country. You had dissident in the country.
Right.
Why you expected him to rule?
Right. So okay, that's a good question. My thing is, he had problems on hand. I agree. I accept it. But my thing was the way he was ruling. There was no question that if Taylor wants something done and you don't get it done, you get killed. And you get killed, nobody's going to ask him question. The thing was, this is an individual who led a civil war for 15 years. A lot of Liberians died during that period. And this is a guy who had a lot of these mafia groups that move around, kill people, and no accountability. He sometimes pretend like he don't even know that those things happen when he's in the know, because he's the one who release those mandates. If Taylor don't release order, it won't happen. So nobody want to be in that gap, Mikey. Even if you're a businessman under that administration, you want to protect yourself, your life. You're not going to play games with Taylor or try to look at Taylor and tell him, "Oh no, I can't do this." You know what's going to happen. So we all should sit there and pretend like we didn't know who the kind of person Taylor was. So my thing is, he had a war going. I agree. He would have dealt with his war and still lead his people like a democratic leader. That is, negotiate, talk about things, not going secretly killing people because they don't do things you want to do. I will tell you, my auntie husband was a senior senator for Mangibi County. The government has some areas for them. Taylor went in the capital. You know what Taylor told those people? In fact, he went with his generous. Those guys at the time who were,
I remember.
Right. He went with his generous. And Senator when they was sitting there, the senators, man, and he told them, he said, in fact, I told the generous to speak. You were the last to speak. And people talking about, how they on the war front, they fighting, they do it. People here complaining about money. And Taylor said, the man, they put life on the line. We take care of it. And you're sitting here complaining for money. Why, if I tell you one senator or representative ever ask for money again, because you know what we're going to be the outcome. Is that the kind of person you call leader? So, brother, let's not go into the Taylor thing. Taylor was not the kind of leader that you compare with other leaders. That was just something I try to make clear.
Okay, T-Max, we're burning daylight.
So yes, let's talk about the food crisis. For me, I am hurt because you know what? This food crisis here was not handled properly. The president missed out on the opportunity to deal with the crisis that we currently have in the country. And for me, we all feeling a pinch. You know how many calls we see every day, people crying that they don't have food.
Right.
Even if you get the money, you can't have the food. It just speaks of the level of deception that people in the government continue to play. You can't play fool of the people like that. You say you can fool somebody, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. I send you clips of a certain senator from the CDC playing deception on our Liberian people. This president that is still talking about the lack of leadership. How the president will be coming to America and put my wanting this behind him and bring her to America to go to the UNGA. What's she going to do there? People are complaining already that the crisis was coming on. You are the commerce minister. You're supposed to remain in the country to ensure that you address the issue that was already creeping into the system. But you jump behind the president, you come to the UN, and you just say behind you do CDC thing. You understand? So up to now, the president has not taken any kind of decision. The president went by there asking about the race crisis and said that street talk. Today, you see people sleeping on the ring at Fuani. People jumping over fence. Look, when I saw that lady jumping over the fence just to get food for her children, look, tears came down from my eyes. What kind of leaders will be having, and you allow your people to go to that level? And not only Liberians, but foreigners controlling our economy.
Yeah, but that's an issue thing when it comes to foreign.
No, the point I'm making, Mr. Masako, the point I'm making here is that it has to do with leadership. This president has failed in all of his undertaking. You make a common minister, right? Who's supposed to tell you information about how things go on in the country? But the same way the finance minister can behave, how all of them can behave. But who is strong? He really IMF graph to the president. When the reality is our people are suffering. The finance minister go tell the president, say the economy is doing well, they have growth. But they owe the IMF. They owe 7 salary. People on the street, they're protesting for salary, they can't get it. But our economy is doing well. You have high level of unemployment, but our economy is doing well. So that's the same thing all the other ministers can do. When they go to the president, everything is okay. Everything is okay. Right. He says he doesn't do any monitor.
I think on our other podcast, right? Kono, if you are a leader, say you are the president of Liberia and your commerce minister come and tell you, we got enough food in the country and this, that, and you come to the UN General Assembly, whether she's in the country with you, and you find out that there is big rice shortage in your country, what will you do as a leader?
She'll be right by me. I will fire her.
There you go.
I will fire her for giving me wrong information.
There you go. I said that on our other podcast. I said a good leader, that person should not have a job.
Let me give you an example.
They should not.
Well, I think President Sally 2009, I think 2009 or 2010, she made a visit to the United Nations. Ambassador Rufa Nivel he was the chief of protocol.
Right.
You understand? He came before the president to the UN, and the president came after. While the president was on her way from Liberia coming to the UNGA, instead of setting up the protocol to receive the president, he get out and go get married.
Okay.
You don't remember the story? He go get married.
I know.
By the time the president came, while he was away doing a marriage thing, he was, before she go to Liberia, he was already fired.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was already fired for leaving his duties and responsibility to go do personal things.
Right.
That's what we're talking about, leadership.
Leadership, yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like I say again, the president is suffering from what I call inferiority complex. He feel that all the guys around are more educated than him, and these are the guys that can give him the voting popularity. These are the guys that can go in the trenches and talk to the people so that he can get vote. He will have to keep them there. That's why he's staying in New York and say, I don't do nothing for the people. They make me president. And the small thing I don't do that they will not make me president again. It just tells you that the actions and decisions of the president tells me that he does not want to be president anymore. And the people are waiting.
Thank you, Alfred. I'll see you. Your final thoughts on this discussion before we move to our last discussion and get some callers and then try to call it a day. See you there?
Right here, T-Max.
Go ahead.
You know, the issue of this rise is an always problem for Liberia. If we can all retrospect in 1979, the first race riot during the time of Bacchus Matthew, one of Liberia's veteran politicians, may so rest in peace. So the issue of rights is something that every government that comes to power should take seriously, because we all know that our civil war today, they all resulted from rights. After the rest riot, we know what happened time after time. So rights issues in every country is a serious thing. That's why you see in other countries, like for example, the Western world. I was giving an example this going something about North Africa. The people who want to protest is about for flour and sugar because that's their staple food. They eat bread. So when the flour prices go up, the sugar price go up. That's why they do it. They get in the street and protest because that's a staple food. And the people don't do those things for long period of time because the moment the government see them in the street, they solve that problem right away.
Right away.
They waste no time. And before that thing can even happen, before it can repeat itself, maybe it will be after the next 10 years or maybe 20 years or more. It is not a regular thing that happens like every month, every 2, 3 months or whatever. There's not the say my brother, since CDC going to power. You know how many times we are heard about rice scares in the country? I think this should be the third or fourth time, if not mistaken. And this other time around, I mean, it's kind of worse.
Right.
So the government just shows its people how irresponsible they are, how unqualified they are, how incompetent they are, and they do not care for the people. That's just what it shows. Looking at our mothers, our sisters, jumping over the fence just to, access, where they have the right. I mean, can you imagine, my brother? Look at how terrible those videos are. When I see these videos, I shed tears, man. What is going on in our country? Rice should be one of the common things that every government should be able to solve easily for its citizens. Because if you have a government who take these things seriously, they will always make sure there are more production or there are more in the White House. People always say America live on reserve. Look at the gas crisis right now in the world with what happened now with Russia and Ukraine. Just recently in Korea, gasoline price went, high up. But my brother, after 2, 3 weeks or 1 month, what happened? It dropped. It dropped for good. So if those countries never have reserve, then trust me, by now we'll be buying, just a liter of gas for $5 US or even more. But because of the reserve they have, they still managing it to be able to, to make connection again to get new one. So the government know rice is our issue, is our major problem in our country. What is supposed to do? Have more rice in reserve. Just in case there will be shortage, you got to put a reserve on the market. And this guy was making it clear on Spoon Talk. Yaka Koluba that the government, took the rice and carried to the White House and whatever because they want at the end of the day to start feeding a family member of the rice, the partisans or people who connected to them, so they cannot, get stranded also too, like the other people are.
Yeah.
But it is a sad thing.
Yaka story has to be checked.
It's true. Timas, since Yaka said that,
you see the rest? You see the rest? All the rest back get proper on it. Now can be rest.
Apart from that, said, you know how many trucks that were arrested the last time? How can you go arrest whole truck or container of rice?
When no rest in the country, somebody get arrested, you go sell the report, then you say no. You arrest the rest and you say the report doing price hiking and you will sell it the way the government want it to be sold.
So that thing I just fake. Like just making up stories because they know what the man says, so they try, to make it look that the citizens are the one hiding the rest and what have you. What sense it made, my brother? The story Yaka said is true. We seen it on social media. We getting information and things. So it is a sad thing, that a government, because my man, this is the important thing as a leader, and that's one of the major things we expect all of our leaders to get to the fingertip. Always place the welfare of your subordinate before your own. What the people need, what they want, what they're supposed to get on time. Make sure you put it first before your own. And when you do that, trust me, you become a very good leader. The people need food. Put that food aspect on your head as a leader. Make sure you solve that food problem. Then definitely the people will consider you to be a good leader. Because the last time that we were, okay, let me just make the final point, Tima. The last time we were talking, Gabriel was making comment about why Liberian get used to eating other food, like plenty, cassava, like Nigeria and whatever. My brother, you know how much for 6 pieces of plenty? You're talking about almost 500 or 600 hour liberty. But that 500 or 600 hour liberty, you know how many couple of rights can give you to feed whole family? So even if you want to get used to plenty of cassava, it's expensive. It's very costly because 6 pieces of plenty, my brother. Also, can I eat 6 pieces of plenty? It cannot. And you spend about 600, you get out 6 pieces. But that 600 can give you about 6 cups of red that you can eat. That whole also can eat for 2 or 3 days. So which one is preferable? The rice is better. So the government need to do their best. They need to try their best, and double up for the people. Rice, Liberians shouldn't go out of rice in our country. It should be the last thing. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. So, CEO, you can put the numbers up as we get into our last discussion, so that our callers can call in and make their contributions. So I think we'll wrap it up on our discussion and go to our last discussion, which is social today.
Before you go to that, I just thought to talk about this a little bit briefly.
Okay. Yeah, 1 minute. Go ahead.
Last Sunday, the president went to his Clone church and deliberately lied on Ambassador Brown, Louis Brown, that the ambassador does not listen. The ambassador went and did his own thing. That was he president we have fired him. You follow that story?
Yeah, I watched that.
That's the same thing we're talking about leadership here. When Ambassador Brown was at the UN at the time, President George Weah had not taken power yet. There was a resolution. You know, when Donald Trump became president, one of his campaign was to change the capital city of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So when he became president, he decided to do that. Okay, so one of the ways to get support was through the United Nations. So the idea of changing the capital city from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem was put on the floor in the United Nations General Assembly. And what brought the creation of the State of Israel in 1947 was the idea of two-state solution living side by side. Considering the historical backdrop of Jerusalem from both the Christians and the Jewish and the Arabs, both communities hold Jerusalem very sacred because of the religiosity of the city. All right. So there was a decision to change that. So based on multilateralism, the AU had a consensus with President Salif in attendance in Addis Ababa. They disagree with President Trump. The whole AU block came together and said, no, we cannot do this because we had a commitment in 1947 of a two-state solution. These two people have right to this city. And if you give it to one person, it will continue to chaos, they will continue to fight over it because the two people have direct link to the city. So they decided to say, no, we will not agree with America. So in that vote, there were 128 countries voted against President Trump's decision to move the city of Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, to move the embassy of the United States from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, automatically changing the city. All right. So at that time, Louis Brown was recalled to Liberia. I think it was in December of 2018. He was recalled to Liberia for consultation. At the time, 2017, rather, not 2018, but 2017. All right. At that time, President Sedi was still president. In December of 2017, he was recalled, and his deputy at the UN was the one that cast the vote for Liberia against the decision. All right. When Joya became president, 7 months, Ambassador Louis Brown was ambassador for Liberia at the UN. And one of the things you don't do as a president, you don't sack an ambassador, you recall an ambassador for consultation because you don't want to leave the window open at the level of the international community. You just sack people and you don't have representation. It's not good for your country. So what you do normally, professionally, is to recall the ambassador and have a consultation with the ambassador. Even if you don't want him to go back to that position, you can replace him by appointing another ambassador. But you don't sack It's very unprofessional. You don't do that in the diplomatic code. You always recall. So the president lied when he said he sacked Ambassador Brown, because Ambassador Brown went and voted against America. An ambassador does not vote on his own feeding at the level of the UN. You always have consultation with the president of that country that sent you. You don't go and vote on your own feeding. You don't go there and vote on your own volation. You always have consultation. So the president lied. Number two, the president also said that we got independent from America. The last time I checked, Liberia was never colonized by any country in the world. How did we get independent from America? In fact, when we got our independence, it took 15 years before America recognized our independence. So how did we get independent from America? So I just thought to bring that into the conversation this morning to tell our people that our president just go ahead and talk without making research. He just go ahead and talk. Just when people get information, he does not counter check the information that they're giving him. Go ahead and talk. That's the same thing he did with Mr. Brown. He lied on Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Connor, for that information. So the numbers are up to our viewers. If you want to call and make your point on any of the topics that were discussed today, we have the number over there. You can make your call or make your comments as we continue. I think the CEO has a short time here with us. So, but we delve into our last discussion, start to wind down the curtains. So we actually going to be discussing something social that has to do with.
You want me to read the numbers up quickly to the audience? So those
right. Go ahead.
The numbers on your screen, you can also check in the comment section there. It's been pinned there in the comment section. If you're there in America, you can call +1 8565374484. If you're in America, call this number +1 8565374484. Call this number on WhatsApp or direct to make a call. If you're in Korea, you can also call +82 1057974144. The two numbers on the screen, you can call this number either directly or you can call it on WhatsApp to make a contribution. So there you go. Over to you, T-Max.
Thank you, CEO. So our next topic will be going. This is totally social. We off politics now, but also our viewers can also call and give their input in any one of these discussions. So we're looking at marriage. The question is, a lot of time people say, not people say, but according to the Bible, it's good to marry before being intimate. But on the other hand, socially, people say it's better to be intimate before getting married because, hey, I don't know if that woman can have child or children. I don't know if, I would like her, being intimate. So it's better to do this before getting married. So where do we stand, both socially and biblically, on this issue of having to be intimate before getting married or getting married before being intimate? Go ahead, CEO. I'm going to start with you.
Okay, let me just give a typical example. The Bible, is very strict. I don't want to add neither subtract, on what the Bible says. But you see, Solomon asked God for wisdom. And with wisdom, he was able to lead his people successfully. There was nowhere in the Bible I told Solomon to, ask the other lady that since she said the child is hers, let me split the child, into two and XYZ. He used his own description, that's a wisdom, from God to be able to solve that problem for the two ladies. It is a good thing that the Bible says that you should marry before having sex. It's a very good thing. My brother, there is a more than what we live. Things have changed, automatically. For me, I can advise any brother or sister to get married before having sex, but based on one condition. I can say, yeah, bro, you know what? Observe the girl, have sex with her once you got them married. Then, of course. But on the other hand, on that condition that I can give such an advice, for example, if the woman is a virgin, yeah, I can guarantee you 100%. Once the lady is a virgin, it is necessary that you get married to her before having sex. She become yours for the first time and forever if you want it to be. But when the woman is not a virgin too, like you, but man, my brother, the thing have already, and been happening. So what in there that you want her, what in there you want her, you got it. So the both of you gotta know each other better. That's all, and then move on.
Yeah, CEO, thank you very much. You just struck a very key point I wasn't even thinking about. You brought something back to my memory when you talk about a virgin. So because those days, like the old days and when the Bible was, reading and all, back in time, I think virgin was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think most of these laws were applied from the Bible to these relationship aspect. Because if you see a girl with a family, maybe you grew up in the same neighborhood, but she's virgin until
Mm-hmm.
your family go meet her family, and then you'll talk about how your son like this their daughter, and the family agree and all that. But these are two basically maybe virgins coming together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, they get together and start to build their own family, right?
Yeah.
So that was something I wasn't thinking about that you struck and make a lot of sense. Because nowadays I think people forget about virgin thing though. It's just not even something thought about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like rare to see now, like I would say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my brother Konoa, yeah, I know you're sitting there smiling because you
You
know.
know,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Masako and see you
Yeah.
like Make. When it comes to marriage, it's a very delicate issue. It's both delicate in the physical term and it also delicate in the spiritual thing. But I would like to say this: whether you are a Bible believing person, or you are a Muslim believing person, or you are a Buddhist person, all these books were never written in isolation to the human condition. They were all written as it relates to the human condition. So if you go to the book of Corinthians, when the people in Corinth begin to argue about the issue of sexual relationship, Paul was very, very, very careful as he addressed them. He said, if you want to have a relationship, it is better to have your own wife. And if you are not yet ready for that, it is better to stay away until you are ready. What Paul was saying over there was that marriage comes with responsibility.
Sure.
It is not a fun thing. It is not an excitement. It has a spiritual connotation. It has a spiritual domain. When people get married, the next thing that comes after is procreation. So, from the backdrop of that, marriage is not for a fun thing. So you don't just get up one day and say you want a woman here and you start, because if you don't marry, the issue of sex is very delicate. It has to do with procreation. You can go and meet somebody today. One time you go do something, baby come from there, because that's what it was meant for. It was not meant for enjoyment. It was not meant for excitement. It was meant for that purpose, for procreation. So if you are not ready for it, do not engage into it. Right? That's what the Bible says. According to Paul, if you are not ready for it, don't engage into it, because God hates fornication. So it's better to have your own wife. That means you must get married to the woman, and you all should go together and start to manifest what God has already said, that be fruitful and multiply. Now, to the issue of whether or not you have to get married before you have sex, I think it's important. It is important because this is a lifetime decision you are about to make. You don't want to go with someone that you don't know, right? You have to know this person, and you have to know the intention of the person that you want to marry. So for me, I think the best thing to do is to stay away, get to know the person. Whether the person is a virgin or not, that's not the issue. The issue here is about the marriage. The marriage is at the center core of this conversation we are having, is about marriage. Two persons coming together to establish a relationship. So whether you are virgin, you are not virgin, it does not matter. What matters is that the two people coming together to establish a relationship. You have to know the person that you want to have your life with. You will have to know the person. So I will argue that it is important to stay away from the issue of sex until you get to know the individual that you want to have an intimate relationship with before you can engage into having sex. Because sex is not for fun. Sex is not for excitement. Sex is for procreation. So if you don't marry, so that's why we're having too many crises today among people. You go so the woman get full fat children, you go so the men get fat children because they never prepare for it. They never prepare for it. If you get married, the first thing that comes to your mind say, "Oh yes, we need to have our kid." You know they can be some discussion, right? People can have discussion say this is a time to have our children. Let's go ahead and have our children, right? Because you know the individual, the person is ready. The person is ready to have the kids, and you people go ahead. You are financially strong enough to be able to take on the responsibility that is coming and everything else that go with it. So for me, I think in my mind, it is important to stay away from engaging into any sexual relationship until you are ready for it.
So I come back to that part, right? So you, like you said, stay away. Okay, yeah, you stay away and you got to know this woman and you got into a marriage, and for some reason you now want a child and this woman cannot bear you a child. What becomes of the marriage? See you take it from there before I go to Kunua.
Yeah. Come again with a question, Timax.
Like my brother was saying, it's important that you stay away, know the woman, and get married. I say you stay away. You got to know this woman over the years. You decide to get married. You got married, and you marry this woman now, and now you want a child. You just want to start having children, and this woman cannot bear you a child. What becomes of the marriage?
You want me to comment on that before CEO coming?
It's up to him.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, the term knowing. Now that the world has transformed and we are now in a modern era, right? The term knowing requires that you do your due diligence. You and the woman have to go to the hospital and see whether you both are matched in terms of if you are engaged into sexual relationship, whether there will be a possibility that you both can have kids. Many times people don't do that because they are so much hyper. They have the anxiety, they don't go through that process to say, okay, let's go through the process. Let me know whether my woman is fit, whether she have any medical issue, whether she have any deficiency in this area. Let me know. People can be afraid to do that because the thing that because you see the woman, you love the woman, you fell in love with her, you people are going on strong, and any attempt to go do that, it will bring some breaking heart. So people don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But when you said knowing someone means that you have to do due diligence. Like I said, you have to know the person's intention. Right? So if you say that go to the hospital, the woman go there, and it happens that the doctor say, okay, based on the procedure that we are just going through, it will not be possible for you and the woman to have kids because you're not matched, the blood not match, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
The two of you will understand that. The two of you will understand that. That's why you have to go through that process of maturing. Because knowing somebody has to do with cohabitation. You got to go through that process of maturing. Because at a certain point in a relationship, there are difficult times. All right? So if y'all go to the hospital and knowing all the facts about y'all, and having considered that you people are more or less maybe Christian or Muslim, and decide to say, okay, we will still go ahead with the marriage, and God who gave it will give. Despite what the doctor say, that would be a different story. All right.
Thank you. See you. Take it from there.
There is something that we should understand firstly, right? Children are gifts from God. We also get to understand that Abraham, wife Sarah, couldn't give him a child up to her old age, and the God still making them understand that, look, I go, my word never come back to me. Abraham had to go out with his housemaid simply because He was impatient, waiting on God's promise. So, a woman not giving birth to a child for her husband, these are normal things that happen in the world. But it's just for, we African, our focus is that once you get married, you're going to have child by a woman. You see, like for the Westerner, those things are not their worry because they know, children are gifts from God. So while it is also important, like I said from the early stage, that a woman who is not virgin, trust me, I can date you, but I cannot get married to you when I don't know you. If you're a virgin, trust me, I would not want to abuse that because I know it is the right thing to get married to you before reaching out. But in as much that we met and you are not a virgin, what's the essence? What in there to hide again? There's nothing there to hide. So I think we should get to know each other better. And when we decide that well we can make it, then we make it. If we decide we can't make it, then we go our separate ways. But with the issue of children, I give from God. There are some women say who you marry, they are virgin, still cannot bear forth child for you. So it is not because maybe some people say, okay, maybe because she messed herself when she was coming up in life, she did XYZ things, she took a lot of pregnancy and wife, so that is the reason. Okay, no, this girl now is a virgin. You got married to her, but she still cannot give you a child. So, like Konawa said, sometimes it is even if you go to the doctor said to try to compare the both of you blood and match, still children are gifts from God. It still does not still work for some people. The woman can even have O plus, the man get O plus or A plus. It still does not work because children are gifts from God. So all you can do as a man, when you are in that situation, I know it is a difficult situation because none of these days everybody want to have a child, because going around seeing your friends with their babies and what have you, and just there lonely as a grown up. It is disturbing. But yet and still, the best advice I can give you is a wait on God time. Because trust me, the woman you got, that your wife, you love her so much. If you don't want to lose her. You don't want to lose her. Because of child issues. You love her so much. And so what can you do? And it is not all men too who want to go out there cheating, and start burning by other women because the women can give birth. No. Some men still want to respect the relationship, no matter what. But all I can say is that just keep your finger tight. Yeah. God will surely give it to you like he did for Abraham.
Thank you, CEO. So before we conclude, we kind of wrapping up now. I will ask you, Konoa, to give your parting statement, and then I will, and then the CEO, and then we call it a day.
Yes. Thank you so much again, Mr. Masako, for Mr. Maki, for always giving me the opportunity to come on the platform, to share my thoughts about how I think about our country. And I think our country is in a dire situation. And the only thing we can do on this platform is to keep on encouraging our people to see beyond the tunnel, that there's a light beyond the tunnel, and it is in their hands to change their situation. I don't think President Weah has done well for our country for the last 5 years, in my mind, because what is going on right now in the country, people are suffering. People are really suffering. People are going to bed hungry, and you have few people in our government structure, including the president, that don't have any level of aptitude to think about, you know, the suffering of our people. And in my mind, I think the 2023 election is a very, 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 very serious elections. And those who are now at the voting age should think twice and to vote. December, the registration process is going to begin. We are asking all Liberians, both in the diaspora that love Liberia, to go back home and register to vote. Go back home now We have a legislation that provides for dual citizenship. Go back home, be part of the process. Go back home and work hard to change the narrative of your country. You know, today's red issue, I think the president need to take action, because since the president spoke when he said it was a street talk, he has not spoken to the nation. He has not said anything to the nation. The Minister of Commerce, the Minister of Commerce have not spoken to the nation to tell us exactly what's going on with the red issue, how soon we're supposed to receive. In fact, they put out a press release that they were going to get rest in the country as soon as possible with no date attached to it. It just tells you the level of incompetence. So the people need to speak to our people, because when things that people expect to happen, if it doesn't happen, the Romans tend to reality. The Romans quick to tend to reality. Right now, we are and Yaka Kolba is leading a massive protest campaign for the rest issue. What we can say to our people is to remain calm, because you are already been patient for the last 5 years. Just remain patient. Anything you guys want to do, let us just do it. 2023 October, we take them out. That's all we can do. Lastly, to the issue of the marriage thing is very delicate, and it is a very deep discussion. We can just discuss it from the surface. When we go into the discussion, we'll not leave from here today, because it has a whole lot of different interpretation. And
Right.
for all of us who are somewhat Christians, we want to protect our Christian belief and want to speak from that perspective. Somebody else will come and speak from different perspective, and the marriage issue is more spiritual than physical. For us, we in the physical, we see marriage to be something like enjoyment. You want to get the best out of your friend want to get the best out of you, intimately, but it goes beyond that. So yes, again, I want to say thank you for our viewers that are listening. We say thank you for joining us, and I will always make it my duty to always come when I'm called upon to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was Afra Konowa right there from Iowa, the USA. Before I run over to the CEO, he's going to be the last, and he will be wrapping up the show and everything. But I just want to join my brother Alfred voice in telling
Jesus.
in telling the Liberian people that like he rightly said, the country belongs to all Liberians, and as a people, we should shape the future of our country. It's in our hands. Our vote can do that. So coming up 2023, I just want to urge all our young folks in Liberia, the older ones, and you look at the country, you see how the country is going. We don't have to be rocket scientists to tell you what is unfolding. But 2023, I hope our people make the right decision and shape the future of our country into the hands of leaders that are ready and prepared to lead, and not people who put our people into abject poverty and suffering and hardship, and the country just keep going down the drain. On this note, I would like to thank our viewers for being here today, and all of you guys who've been commenting and supporting the Diaspora Talk. It was a fascinating discussion today, and I want to say until we meet next Sunday, by the grace of God, we love you guys, and stay tuned. Have a blessed week. Up to you, CEO.
Yeah, thank you there, T Max. We had a wonderful discussion tonight, and this very simple 2023 is coming. It is left with our citizen back home. If you still want to continue this struggle of looking for rights, then vote foolishly. But if you want to have a very smooth country, where everything is, to your disposal, then vote wisely. Because if you do not understand what you're going through right now and want to make similar mistake come 2023, then you're on your own. The only regret that I have is that we in the diaspora, we suffer a lot whenever these crises go in the country, because if we used to send $50, we have to double it to $100, because trust me, if you got somebody going on error for you where you have to transport them $5 US every day, you have to increase it to $10. I made a gap right go on now. Tesla no more $5 US anymore. So that's the only regret that I have, that the burden falls on us. But
You
trust
gotta
me,
do that extra overtime. It can be so difficult.
seriously. So that's just a difficult part. That's a frustrating part too. That I feel. But trust me, you guys over there, you guys suffer more than us. We have 24 hour current, 24-hour water. Food is to our disposal. Yeah, job is to also to our disposal. We go and find job. But you guys over there are the one who don't have job. You don't have good road network. You don't have running water. You don't have electricity. Everything you don't have it. So vote wisely. Let's put the rightful leader there that can make Liberia a better place for us all. Also, on the social issue we were discussing, I wish we would find another time where we would discuss, foolish socially, so we can get to understand and other things. We can quote scriptures and things. We'll also mix it to, with the secular, expression, or, how these things work. And trust me, at the end of the day, we'll be able to move forward and have a better idea. We keep learning from one another, and trust me, that's just how life is. The learning doesn't have an end. Even at your old age, you can still learn something new. So on this note, gentlemen, thank you guys all so much for being part of our edition today. We had a wonderful time, a very beautiful lecture, a very wonderful discussion. And we hope to be back here, next week, same time, same location. So on this note, gentlemen, you guys have a wonderful brand new week. Until we meet, bye for now.
Peace.